Good day to you all. It's Monday the 12th of April, and for those of us living in England, after 6 months of more or less non-stop lockdown, restaurants, bars and other hospitality venues are able to open outdoors, as is non-essential retail. So, in this first of my new series, Mutton Checks It Out, we're going to check out what's going on in the city centre. Will it be a damp squib, or will it be more like John Milton's Paradise Regained? Well, I've made it comfortably to the city centre, and unlike my video a few months ago, in fact my very first video where I took you to the memorial to Alan Turing and around Sackville Gardens, the gay village, Chinatown, where it was all as dead as a dodo, it's now completely different. It's reopening day in Manchester, bars, cafes, restaurants, all sorts of places have now reopened. Only outside, of course, but all retail, non-essential stuff as well is open. So on this series, Mutton Checks It Out, I'm going to take you around places that I find that are open or of interest for those of you who want to dine al fresco, or just those of you who want to see what it's like here in Manchester. I'll be covering Manchester obviously first, and then going a bit further afield on day trips to nearby cities in the coming weeks. Unfortunately, I can't stay in hotels until at least the 17th of May, so it'll have to be places I can day trip. If you're interested in the statue behind me, this is a chap called John Dalton, who was responsible for advances in meteorology. I think, given the forecasts recently, we need a few more people who can advance the science of meteorology. Okay folks, that's your fill of history and culture for the day, and let's get on with seeing where's open around here. Now, at the moment, I'm in the district of town just between the city centre and the university. For those who know Manchester, it's very close to where the old BBC building is, or was, I beg your pardon. I found a few things of interest here, and obviously I won't be able to cover every bit of Manchester in one day, but let's check out what we find around here. So there's a queue over there, and naturally I'm kind of drawn to what they're queuing for, so let's go and check it out. It appears to be some sort of beer garden. So it's the #1 beer garden in Manchester. Hardy folk in Manchester, it's not warm at all, at least it's not raining. I'm not sure I'd be able to sit out all afternoon in a beer garden, but I guess it's something people have been waiting months for. Claims to be open from 10 till 1 a.m. Why anybody would want a beer at 10 in the morning, I don't know. So here we have Outdoor Indian, and a lot of places like this have invested in heaters and tables and canopies in case it rains. And I have actually eaten in this place before, and I can assure you the food is quite good here. So this may be well be a place that I visit in the near future. And we have what looks like a Turkish steakhouse here, which I'm not familiar with. Nando's, of course, an old favourite. I like that. Sadly, nothing much outside for the La Mesa restaurant and superstore, but I guess they can still sell groceries to people. Casa Mexico, authentic Mexican street food. Didn't know about this either. So the real reason I'm actually in this area is because when I was getting some photographic equipment earlier today, I passed somewhere I didn't even know about, and it looked fascinating. So yes, I saw this place, I walked past it, and it's called Hatch. It's full of food stalls, shops, cafes, all sorts. So I'm itching to try it out. I don't have a reservation, so I'm going to join the queue, and I'll see you shortly when I'm in. So right in front of me, I believe this is some sort of Brazilian place, K-bomb street food. But let's go on a little stroll and see what stalls they have around here. So this is Japanese, this is. Tapas. Well, haven't got time today, but I do need a haircut. Craft beers for sit-in and takeaway. A long time before I'm going to be able to have that sort of thing, but I do like that sort of thing. Well, my experience of moonshine, not that I've ever drunk it, is people making things in home stills, but they seem to have all sorts of flavours here. Lemon drizzle. Would that be a bit like limoncello, the lemon drizzle thing? Yeah, just a tiny bit, because I have to watch my sugar. Well, this is a small enough portion for even me to get away with. Who knows how much in the way of calories that tiny sip. It's a little sweet, but not very. Cheesecake stall. Sausages. Something I like, but again, not for me at the moment. Maybe breadless. Paninis, burgers. Oh, arancini, that's something I like, but probably can't have at the moment as well. But they do have a few antipasti. Hello! Do you do salads and things like that? Oh, I see, yeah.
So we do like better croquette. You've got cheese, sun-dried tomatoes, olives, caponata.
Even an old bus here. Parmageddon. Ah, they have a vegan stall here. What a vegan Philly cheesesteak is, I don't know. So there we are. Spoiled for choice, really, but not spoiled for choice, because there's a limit to what I can have here. But I can have a few bits and pieces that aren't deep fried and battered or breadcrumbed or what have you. So I'm going to scan the menu, choose something. Let's have a little nibble. I have to say, for people wanting to come and drink beer and snack and socialise in a COVID-secure environment, this is pretty good. It's sort of open air, but you're not going to get drenched if it rains. In fact, you're not going to get wet at all if it rains in here.
Here we go. Starting from a cheese called the Caciocavallo, directly from Sicily, is a semi-aged cheese, and some sun-dried tomatoes from Sicily, with bread baked in a wood oven from Noi Quattro Pizzeria, is a pizza restaurant. And this is our specialty, our caponata, straight from our mama recipe, is completely homemade, so that I'll be sure that you will enjoy it. And some olives marinated with pepper and mushrooms. All vegetarian and handmade. There is no product directly from the industry.
Excellent. It looks delicious. Thank you. Thank you. So that's not a bad start. Some other things coming. I've got massively over-ordered here, but as you can probably gather, I'm going to take the boxes back home and not eat at all. Tasty, but pretty sweet. The cheese I have to ration, but let's try 8-piece and see how it tastes. It's been so long since I had a piece of cheese. Even though it's 1 piece, it's so nice to be having that again. In fact, it's so nice just to be sitting out eating somewhere. Salad I don't have to ration. Again, these are rationed, I like them, but
this is like our Portuguese Indian style like this. Just dip the bread into it.
okay, thank you.
This is salad.
So here we are, quite a spread. Because they're hot, I'll start off with the prawns. Reasonable, pretty garlicky, tasty sauce. Prawns themselves, I suspect frozen, but that's fairly normal in a place like this, especially on the day they're reopening. I must add, if it's come straight off the trawler or been quickly transported in a lorry and is ultra fresh, then that's fine. Frozen isn't actually that bad, and so people who insist on everything literally having come out of the sea 10 minutes ago are probably wishing for something A they can't get, and B that is slightly better but not massively better. On to the boquerones now. This is a Spanish classic. It's white anchovies and vinegar, and something I absolutely adore over there. Obviously I'd like to have them with a glass of Albarino or some other white wine, but for me at the moment it's just water. Now, I would not complain if I got those in Spain. So they get the mutton mark right. Now the tortilla, classic Spanish omelette, eggs, potato, and for me a good tortilla should always be soft, runny and creamy in the middle, and that has good signs of that now. It's not as creamy as I'd like, but it's not as hard as a bullet as many places and many supposedly good Spanish places both in this country and Spain. So. A solid 7 out of 10 for that. Again, not as good as the anchovies, but still pretty good. So, if I were a betting man, and I know the result, I'd be betting on mutton eating all the anchovies and taking the rest home. Even the little red peppers with the anchovies are delicious. Well, I suppose if I can't go to Spain, at least Spain can come to me in a little way at the moment. So you're all going to say, oh, mutton, you pig, you get it, you eat and all that, you're on a diet. But before we all jump to conclusions, I ate all the anchovies, I ate the salad, I had a piece of cheese, I had 1 piece of bread, half of the tortilla and a couple of prawns. Maybe that's too much, but hey, after 12 weeks, maybe I've earned it. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is my takeaway. Well, of course, we have to finish off with an espresso, which looks pretty good. Can't really do without one of these at the end of a meal. But I enjoyed myself coming here. The cost of the meal was £35.30 for everything. Yes, a bit expensive, but at the end of the day, the UK is an expensive place. These types of places where you have lots of stalls are usually a bit more expensive than a local restaurant. But you do get the choice. And to be honest, after 6 months of lockdown, I don't care. But I really enjoyed myself. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I'll see you for the next one. And don't forget, you can't beat a bit of mutton.